All right, this video is for the beginning of motion, stress, and health. So this is talking about modules 40 through 44. So in this video, we're going to focus on emotional theory. So first of all, we have to define what emotion is. An emotion is a response of the entire person, including your physical, your expression, and your cognitive response. So this is including, if for example you're sad, this is including that your face is looking sad, that you're you're not smiling, that you're crying. As well as you're thinking about sad things. That would be including all of the emotional responses. If you're happy, you're smiling, you're thinking happy thoughts, there's a smile on your face, and you're doing happy things. So that's kind of what we mean by emotion. So I had to clarify that. Now, after that, we also have to talk about emotional theory. So exactly how do we explain how emotion has come about? Is emotion a result of you smiling, so therefore you are happy, or do you smile because you are happy? Which came first? It's that chicken or the egg theory idea. So there are a couple of theories about how emotion works. So the first theory is what we call the James-Lange theory. And the James-Lange theory is the idea that emotion is just our awareness of our physical responses to stimuli. So in other words, our emotion is resulting from the fact that we're smiling. So in other words, you are happy because you're smiling, or you're sad because you're crying, or you're angry because you are frowning. Okay, so we have a snarling dog here. So our first response is that we're shaking. Oh my gosh, the snarling dog. Second response is that you have this idea of fear. You have this consciousness of fear. So your response, your physical response, causes your actual emotion. So that's the idea of James-Lange. The second theory is the Cannon-Bard theory, and the Cannon-Bard theory is the idea that, Cannon and Bard looked at this James-Lange theory and said, okay, that's just dumb. You're saying that I'm afraid because I'm shaking, so shaking comes first and then you're afraid? Bard said no. Cannon-Bard said no, 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 no. That happens at the same time. Your physical and emotional response happen at the same time. So you have this threatening grizzly bear approaching you, okay? So as a result, your heart is pounding, you're trembling, you're sweating, and you're running away, and you have the emotion of fear. You have it at the same time. Now, the third theory is that the two-factor theory, and this is the idea that a stimuli causes both a physical response and a cognitive label for that response, which then leads to emotion. So what happens here is that we have that threatening bear that's coming toward us. So as a result, your heart's pounding, you're trembling, you're sweating, you're running away, and at the same time, you have this cognitive label of, oh my gosh, that's one scary bear, I better get out of here, right? Which leads to the emotion of fear. Okay? So keep in mind that James-Lange theory says that your physical response comes first, which then causes your emotion. Cannon-Bard is saying that the physical response and your emotion happen at the same time in response to a stimuli. And then the two-factor theory is basically saying that your stimuli causes your physical response and this cognitive label of that you're afraid, oh my gosh, it's a scary bear, which then leads to the emotion, okay? So that's the three theories that are explained. The second part that I wanted to talk about in this video is having to do with emotions in the brain. So there are parts of the brain that are more activated by positive emotions versus negative emotions. So negative emotions are more linked to the right hemisphere. So when you have negative emotions like anger and envy and jealousy, those are going to be linked to the right hemisphere. So when you are really have an angry person, the right side of their brain is going to be more lit up. And in particular, okay, when we look at some right brain activation, so this picture is kind of looking at some of the things that are activated by the right hemisphere of brain. So negative feelings, withdrawal, energy expenditure, your sadness, loneliness, anger, danger, excitement, caution, retreat, vigilance, a rapid heart rate, anxiety, and running. So those are all linked to the right hemisphere. Now, negative personalities, those people that are always negative and down about things, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get this job, I'm never going to get that promotion, I'm never going to pass this test, why am I even trying? All those kinds of things, negative personalities, they actually have not only a right hemisphere, but also right frontal activity. Whereas positive emotions are much more linked to the left hemisphere. So as you can see from the picture, the left hemisphere activation would be positive feelings, approach energy enrichment, happiness, love, attachment, safety, calm, curiosity, explore, nourishment, slow heart rate, relaxation, and restore. So those are all your positive emotions that go with the left hemisphere. They've even potentially looked at, could this potentially be caused by and linked to the fact that in the left hemisphere, that's where we have our little happy drug of dopamine. So dopamine is produced in the left hemisphere in the brain, so it's probably not a coincidence that the left hemisphere is the side of the brain that is activated more when you have positive feelings and positive emotions. Now, here's the question. Can you go and teach somebody to go from a more negative personality and a more negative feelings about things and being really stressed out about things? And can you teach them to be more positive and have a positive outlook? Well, there has actually been studies that look at that. And what they have found is that you can teach meditation for people to be more left hemisphere dominated. They actually have done studies where they had they had brain scans of the Dalai Lama, and they saw that his left hemisphere was much more activated when he was meditating. And so then they also did some brain scans of some Buddhist monks and found the same thing, left hemisphere dominated. They said, well, okay, is this a result of them just practicing meditation and that they've worked on meditation a lot? Or can you actually teach this to people? Well, they actually took a group of very high stressed, negative stockbrokers, and they taught them how to meditate like these Buddhist monks. And they looked to see, they did a brain scan before they taught them meditation, and they were very right hemisphere dominated because of their negative attitudes. But then after they taught them the meditation and they practiced the meditation after a while, they did see that there was a switch and that their left hemisphere seemed to be a lot more dominant than it had been before. So moral of the story is, be an optimist prime, not a negatron. I put that in there because my son's really into Transformers right now. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions. This is it for emotional theory.